What's up, guys? How's it going? Welcome back to Atlas Theory. Now, Star Atlas just dropped their economics paper, so we're going to get into that over the next few videos here. We're going to break it up into three sections. That'll be game economy, tokenomics, and governance. And that's how the paper is broken up as well. If you guys would like to follow along, I'll put a link to this paper down in the description. Now let's jump over to the paper here. The way this video is going to work is it's more of a read through, and I will take breaks here and there to throw in some of my input, some things that I may want to do as a player, and I'd love to hear yours as well down in the comment section. So guys, let's dive into game economy. We're going to start off here with the section goals of the economy to get an overall picture of where we are going, and then we'll get into some of the details here. So this is going to be very raw, and I'm just going to dive into it. Building intergalactic empires. Star Atlas is a space race that will challenge its players to team up, organize, build, and fight their way into unknown territories. What will start as a group of spaceships and a collection of small mining colonies will develop into full-blown civilizations, rapidly iterating on alien technologies and intergalactic diplomacy to explore the ever-expanding universe. Naturally, the goal of Star Atlas economy is to best align production of goods at scale with both a sense of long-term progression and short-term enjoyment to the players, all while making their collaboration increasingly beneficial to their teammates and faction. I am so happy that a lot of this has to do with collaboration. I think a game like this just really needs that team aspect to it. Whether it be faction or your DAC, Decentralized Autonomous Corporation. Here we go. This is how they're going to make it enjoyable in the long term with this skill tree progression, minimizing player fatigue and multi-account clutter. Most MMO games involve tapering reward curves and repetitive tasks that only serve to fatigue its players, where even the most devoted players will find themselves in a gruesome lottery-esque endgame, with impossibly low-rate loot drops and repetitive expeditions, draining the players' excitement for new growth. Star Atlas is different. By employing a skill tree approach, the game allows its users to dedicate their time and resources to a certain activity. This allows them to unlock perks and bonuses from their skill tree that they can then purchase with Atlas, thus providing benefits, both individually and collaboratively. Additional perks and bonuses are subject to the discretion of the development of Star Atlas team. Therefore, the initial perks listed below are non-exhaustive. Okay, so this is just them, showing their vision and what they're going to do. Now here we go into some of the details and get to see how it works. I would really suggest, if you're just listening right now, to look at the screen or to look at this white paper later on. It shows a lot of the trees here that we need to know. So let's get into it. Game economics. Star Atlas is a game with an economic system that goes both wide and deep, connecting with every aspect of in-game activity. There are three large groups of mechanisms connected to economics: production, piloting, and overarching mechanics. And we can see here all three here: production, piloting, overarching mechanics, and kind of how they work. Rewards from piloting activities are the main inputs into the game economy, which flow into the markets that support piloting through the production game. Production connects mining, refining, and technological development in order to create new assets usable for piloting. And this is really exciting. This is kind of like what I like to play, but we'll get into it later, how it's a little bit more like alchemy in the blueprint stage that's listed here. So super cool, but we'll get into that here. Broader mechanics that underpin the game are land development, character development, and the DAO system. Okay, so jumping over to the next side here, Most of the in-game items come from the production layer, with exception of rare equipment and resource drops from piloting, an exclusive limited series of items injected into the game through sales, such as unique ships. We've seen so many pictures of awesome ships in the Discord and on Twitter, and some of these will be available for purchase. Some of them were offered with the rewards from the posters. Also, the first pet. I'm sure pets may be a thing that are offered through this as well. But we have our value tokens listed here. You have your Atlas, you have your Polis. Atlas is just the blood, right? And Polis is your governance token. So we have real estate as well in the form of land parcels. These will play a big role, as we'll get into here. And then your items, your ships, your crew, equipment, components, and buildings are the 5, with resources being raw materials, which then can be turned into refined materials and sold on the market for more Atlas that then you can pour back in. You guys are, we're forming the picture right now. A key concept is understanding the production system is land. The universe of Star Atlas consists of regions, solar systems, and planets, and a basic land parcel represents partial ownership of a planet's territory. Production buildings are built on land, with more advanced buildings having additional requirements to the land they can work on. In addition, land ownership is required to participate in some of the governance levels. Okay, that's really cool. All land, this is important why we're early, guys, so we get in on some of this. All land is Star Atlas, in Star Atlas, is subject to land value tax, incentivizing owners to use it rather than simply holding it. I love that. I really love that. It just, you have the people and reward the people who truly want to play the game. And I know this will actually benefit your Polis holders as well, as Polis isn't the end-all be-all of governance. It's also player time, or at least something to do with the input. As they've said in some town halls. But we're going to get into resource management here. While there are several activities within Star Atlas to create economic value, mining will be an important pillar to the production within the Star Atlas economy. In order to partake in this activity, users must make an initial investment via the purchase of Atlas or equipment. Basic resources, NFTs, will be needed as an input to maintain the mining output for natural resources. Mining yields resources, which are then used to trade or create in-game assets to allow users to carry out their jobs and produce value within the in-game economy. Blueprints, here we go, are acquired by leveling up skills in the building category, which are then used to unlock recipes required to make in-game assets. The production layer, the production of a player in mining progresses based on skill. Mining skill progression grants improved quality of speed of resource harvesting, as well as discounts in crafting and maintaining farm establishments. Now let's look at this tree here real fast. We have the land, the mining operator, and the mining drill. And actually it just goes into that right here. Mining requires a special building together with land and an NPC worker. So it's the 3 that really form the mining initial requirements. Character skill, player character skill, and power supplied by power generating buildings. Resources produced from mining have to be refined before they are usable. Okay. Different roles within the game create unique opportunities and levels of economic output for the player. And this goes into some of the roles here. I would like you to just go ahead and read along, or look at the paper on your own time. But they just mentioned 3 here: extractors, refiners, and managers. And it goes into some of the initial cost, maintenance, and yield, as well as gives you some perks. So go ahead and read through those now, or come back to it. And it just is really building I think this is where we create our teams, especially with the managers. Let me just read the manager part real fast. Managers are responsible for making sure resources are used efficiently in order to create value and utility. Some manager type roles including power plant manager and salvage operator. So I know for myself, I'm not a numbers guy. So, teaming up with your faction or your guild or DAC in Star Atlas could really harness, you can really like grow together. Like you have your pilots, your soldiers, and then you have your more manager types, your investors, all that, and you're all working together to create this empire of sorts. So I can't wait to jump in, meet a lot of you guys as well. But let's get into buildings. And then the research and development section here in a moment is like where I'm really excited about. Builders experiment and produce new innovative goods to sustain and improve technology. Building is the exercise of finding the most efficient and novel ways to use farmed resources to create technological goods that can be utilized within the game. Star Atlas will create an initial and growing list of crafting recipes for natural resources and how they become new technological goods. Builders can either consume, utilize their build composite resources and structures, collect compensation from their faction for exchanging them, or sell them in-game marketplace for Atlas. In addition, a player can also increase their building skills, which will lead to unlocking new recipes and ascending tiers of technology crafting. I apologize. Building roles within a game include research and development and production. So, as an MMO player, I like alchemy. I played some even blockchain alchemy games. And this is kind of what that is going to turn into as we get into like the blueprinting. It will talk about that though. But as you guys remember the tree from earlier, blueprinting kind of goes off from that and creates like a circle. And then it's like, blueprinting back into technology. Technology comes around into blueprinting, back into technology. And it's this cool little circle. Research and development. R&D is akin to crafting or alchemy, where players experiment with different combinations of refined and raw materials in order to produce new technology. Super excited about that. I think this is where I'm going to spend a majority of my time in Star Atlas. Initial cost is crafting rig costs fixed Atlas. Okay. So you have a fixed Atlas cost for these additional requirements. To operate the rig needs to be placed on a land parcel that is not foreclosed. So here's all like the costs and yield and perks that we were talking about earlier. I think it becomes a little repetitive if I read every single one. But as people advance in these new technologies, it's going to be interesting to see how they're shared. Like, are people going to be nice and throw them like in Discord and be like, hey guys, I found this? Or are they going to only share them with their faction members or their DAC members? And it's going to be cool how like that space race evolves to like who's the most advanced, right? In the beginning. So production. These builders are responsible for the production and maintenance of technology at scale. So here it goes again. Initial cost is production rigs, also fixed Atlas, and recipes. Yield, deployable technology, crafting speed, and reduced waste is the perks there for production. I already know, like I've said, I'm going to be huge into production, research. The whole building element is really cool. And then I hope to support those exploring and those battling, and hopefully recreate like a cool relationship there. Now let's get into exploring. Explorers depend on fighters and builders to de-risk their expeditions and earn new opportunities to mine new resources. Exploration is one of the most complex and aspirational activities in the game. Explorers utilize ships and competitive technology to increase the efficiency and safety of discovering new planets and rare resources. Ships can be purchased as an initial investment for well-endowed users on a selective or limited basis. Explorers are the hunters of this hunter-gatherer society, charged with bringing back materials for miners to potentially reproduce, or for builders to craft new technologies. These new materials can either be utilized to gain additional competitive advantage or sold for Atlas. Explorers can also improve their skills, which lead to advantages such as reduced ship damage while traveling. Oh, that's huge. That's cool. Increased efficiency in mining rare materials. Example roles include executive roles and utility roles. As we go through all these roles, I actually hope that some of the DACs out there, or guilds, as they're called in most games, start to organize their members by these roles, or say, hey, we're focused on fighting, hey, we're focused on building and technology, let's work together. If they're separate DACs, or if they're one big one, just giving those manager roles out already for those who are most interested. It's super exciting. We're in, like, as it said in the beginning, this is the space race that we're going into. Let's go into fighting now. Fighters depend on builders to gain advantages in combat. Fighting is required to capture loot, which can come in the form of resources and technological goods from other players, and expand the boundaries of control to your faction. A player can build in to enter into scheduled matches or tournaments, or attack the outer reaches of space. Okay, that's awesome. The rewards increase the further into outer space one goes, but so does the risk and the cost of losing. As we know from multiple interviews, there is the thing of permadeath and NFT destruction in this game. Fighters earn Atlas and resources from the salvage of fallen opponents from winning matches. They can use them to either repair equipment and vehicles or reinvest into new technology production or farming. Fighters can improve their skills, which lead to increased damage outputs, bonuses, and defenses. Here's some fighter roles, executive roles, and combat roles. It's going to be really cool to see, again, how this all unfolds, the people who fall into these certain roles. Now, let's get into like this little small section about deep space. In the special case of deep space PvP fighting, explorers and their fighters may risk losing all of the assets they developed that they deployed or brought on the expedition into deep space. However, the reward is bountiful. Okay, so that's like an important detail I was wondering, because for those of you guys who have read or seen Ready Player One, there's the idea of permadeath, but it's like the destruction of everything, like all their assets. And here it seems like whatever you brought along with you to this certain expedition, like whatever's on your ship, is destroyed. I know that there was a question in a town hall about would some of your mining equipment or land be destroyed? And it seemed like that was answered yes, but then that's a little confusing if it's just what you brought on your expedition. But maybe they're still like working that out. And here we get into that third thing, the overarching activities. There are other secondary roles that make Star Atlas more fun while adding value to the economy. These roles include retail deck manufacturers and sellers, social developers, and sporting activities like racing. So if you guys want to read through these, it sounds really fun. A lot of the racing has always been talked about in the Discord and town halls. If you have some of the posters, I think a racer is one of the rewards. Yeah. Certain competitive but non-violent activities will be added to the discussion of Star Atlas DAO, with the first edition being ship racing. These sporting activities will encourage low-risk, high-enjoyment activities in times of leisure. That'd be awesome. Can you imagine just like I know, sorry to mention Fortnite, I don't play, but I've seen these like events happening where there's a musical artist and like everybody gathers. And I think it's going to be probably similar here, where there will be like sporting teams or like famous racers that we all come to watch here and there when we're not out, in deep space or doing our mining, and we get to dress up, in our clothing NFTs and enjoy an event together. And I think that's going to be super awesome and super powerful. The next section here is tokenomics, and that is going to be another video. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this first part about the game economics. Let me know what you guys are most looking forward to. I think for me, it's that building, it's that technology advancement, the blueprint alchemy little game there. Again, I'll leave the link to this down in the description, and we'll go from here. Thank you guys for watching so much. If you enjoyed, hit that like button for me. Subscribe for more Star Atlas videos. This is only the beginning here of this channel. Let me know if you joined a DAC, or if I should create one, or what should we do? I'll see you guys in the next video for the tokenomics. Peace, guys.